G'day and welcome to a special edition of FriBaT, Friday Beers and Tools with Andy. Exciting news, we've just hit 1,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Great news. I think at the time of recording I was up to about 1,005, so that is amazing. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you for helping me reach my first major milestone. Hopefully now Google will start paying me some ad revenue. That would be great. Anyway, let's get on with this week's FriBaT. As you can see, I'm in a bit different surroundings this afternoon and a different shirt because I haven't got my GRAYZBILDZ shirt with me. I'm actually in an apartment in Darwin at the moment waiting for my darling wife, who I just dropped off to the hospital. She's having a small surgical procedure done, so hopefully everything's going to come out fine with that. But let's get on with the beer tasting. Alright, this week we have another IPA. Who would have thought I like IPAs? It just happens to be that way. This is an IPA from Tinnies, Indian Pale Ale from Tinnies. And Tinnies is brewed in Victoria. They say that it's a modern Australian craft beer with an old school name we all know and love. Okay, I wasn't really aware of Tinnies. I don't think I've reviewed any Tinnies beers before. So anyway, let's see what it's like. Brewed in Victoria from the finest Australian hops, Tinnies has something to suit every palate. Now this IPA is one hop roller coaster with huge aromas of citrus, pine and melon. With some serious bitterness and an intense hop character, this brew is not for the faint-hearted. I would think not. It's 7%. Made in Victoria with the finest Australian hops, this beer is made for a big hearty burger, maybe even one with a bit of spicy edge. Happy Friday. That is a really nice IPA. There's hardly any bitterness there. There is a little bit of the melony sort of flavour. A little bit of pine. Nothing overbearing. It's all very, very subtle, but very nice. It's actually a bit light on the carbonation as well. Again, I'm not sure whether that's can. Everything seems to be coming in cans nowadays. I'm not sure whether any of my other Australian beer drinking friends have noticed that, but a lot of these boutique beers are coming in cans and not in bottles. I prefer to drink out of glass. For me, it's much nicer. Cans, aluminium, I don't know. But back to the Tinnies IPA. That's a really nice IPA. At 7%, it would put you on your ass pretty quickly, but that's a very nice, easy drinking beer. Standard drinks in one tin is 2.1. Yeah, actually, I reckon it would go really nice with like a spicy Mexican tacos or maybe a chili burger or something like that. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice beer. Let's talk about ratings. On my scale for beers, that's a 4.5 out of 5 spanners for me. That's a nice, easy drinking beer. Okay, on to this week's first tool. I'm actually going to do a couple. And as you can imagine, being in Darwin, I'm away from all of my normal stuff. I had to go to tool shop. What I purchased is a little bit of redundancy here actually. Some will remember I have already reviewed a M12 multi-tool, and that was the brushed version. The brushless version, this is the M12 FMT-0, or otherwise in the States it's known as 2526-20. This is the brushless version, and it retails in Australia for $198. What do you get in the box? Okay, firstly let's have a look, see what they say on the box. Fast cutting, low vibration. Can't really test that today because I don't have any batteries with me. Tool-free blade change. That's a big improvement over the brushed version for starters. So what do you get in the box? I'll put a picky up of this, and in the box you get the tool. This is a skin, of course. It doesn't come with the charger or batteries. It comes with 5 sanding sheets, 1 blade adapter, 1 wood cutting blade, a depth stop, a sanding pad and a dust extraction unit thingy. Like all other Milwaukee M12 tools, this is designed in America and then made in China. I am trying to buy less Chinese tools, but I do like the Milwaukee M12 range. Quite different for me not getting a tool in the mail. Okay, that's the tool itself. Very similar to the brushed version, slightly bigger in the head, I think, up this end, but otherwise very similar to the brushed version. I'll put a link to my FriBaT that I did on the brushed version up here, so you can check it out. Again, very nicely made. Another thing they have added on the brushless version, the fuel version, is they put an LED on it, and as I mentioned, it is a toolless blade change. That's nice. Okay, you get the usual instructions. 5-year warranty in Australia on Milwaukee M12 now, which is very good. And of course you get the little wish list book, which is always a bad thing according to Mrs. Gray. You also get quite a nice little blow mold case, which has all of the bits in it. This is the sanding pad and the sandpaper. It does come with a few sheets, very few sheets. And from what I've heard, it uses a lot of battery power to actually do the sanding part. That's generally not what we use multi-tools for. This is the dust extractor system. So that goes over the head there and then enables you to connect your shop vac or whatever onto there. That's the depth stop. Again, goes over the collar and allows you to adjust the position of the depth. And it comes with one whole blade. Very generous of you, Mr. Milwaukee. Blade quality is something that probably we'll do another video on separately, because there's an awful lot of Chinese crap that's on the market now, and they do not last very long at all. Unfortunately, oscillating blades is one of those things that you get what you pay for. The better brands, the Milwaukees, the Makitas, etc., usually have a much better quality blade. So we'll talk about that in another video. That nice little blow mold case, and of course that won't, yes it does, amazing. The tool itself has multi-speed on the side that allows you to adjust the oscillations from 10,000 up to 20,000, which is class leading. Apparently it is actually a better tool than the DeWalt, Makita, etc. versions. It has a length of 285 millimeters. Now I'll put it up here in inches, and weighs a whole kilo without the battery, I believe. It does have a little bit of weight to it, but actually that's not a bad thing with an oscillating tool, because that also helps dampen out the vibrations coming through your hand. If you've ever used an oscillating tool for any length of time, you'll understand what I mean. It does get very tiring after a while. A big on-off switch up the top here, and if it's anything like the other one, it's sort of like a soft start as well. Alright, 12 settings, speed settings. As I mentioned, that will go from 10,000 up to 20,000 oscillations per minute. It has an oscillation angle of 3.9 degrees for fast cuts, and also the LED light for low light situations. I'm amazed they didn't put it on the previous brush tool, because they put it on every other damn tool, and it's a good thing. Right, brushless motor. So we'll probably have to do a comparison video back to back between the brushed and the brushless, or the brushed and the fuel version. Remember, fuel means the brushless motor, just so that we can have a bit of a comparison of cutting speed and power. Anecdotally, the brushless motors are much more powerful and more power efficient, so your battery will last longer. Interestingly, they do show the bigger batteries, the 4 ampere hour and the 6 ampere hour batteries on these tools, so they do use a fair bit of power. Probably a little 2 ampere hour won't last very long in your tool. It does keep it nice and light though, so if it's only a small fast job, then that's not a bad thing. So what else? 5-year warranty, we talked about that. Yeah, look, it was a little bit of an opportune buy. I will sell my brushed version. I don't need 2 oscillating tools, so if you're in the market for a brushed oscillating tool in the M12 range, give me a yell, because it is still a very good tool. It's just that this one's better. $198 from the big tool shops in Australia. I haven't yet looked to see whether the American version is on Amazon. If it is, I'll put it up here. And obviously that'll be the American part number, which is 2526-20. Yeah. With the limited amount that I can tell you about it now, and from what I've read of its specifications, etc., I'll give you some tentative review ratings. Value for money for $198 compared to the rest of the M12 fuel range. It's actually pretty good value. Most of the small M12 range is now in the $200, $250, $300 range. So at $198 price point, it's not bad. I'm not sure what it is in America. Maybe my mate Tony over there can give us a yell and let us know what you pay for one of these in America. I'm sure it's a lot less than what we pay in Australia. Very jealous. We pay a lot for tools in Australia. So interestingly, the only place, with a quick Google search, the Australian brushed version, my previous version, the C12MT-0, which in America is the 2426-20. The cheapest I can find in Australia, just with a Google search, I haven't looked at the big tool suppliers, somebody on eBay is selling them for $259.95 in Australia. That is a complete rip-off when the better tool is less than $200 at the big tool shops. When I look up the American part number on eBay Australia, they appear to have some for around about $88 plus tax, plus GST in Australia, so another 10%, plus whatever they're actually charging for freight. Let's just have a quick look. They don't even quote freight, so it probably would be quite expensive. So looking at least $100 for the brushed version, even from the cheapest supplier on eBay, the American brushed version, and then whatever cost is to get it into Australia, it probably wouldn't end up being far off, probably maybe $150, $160, when for $198 you can get the later brushless fuel version. I would go for this every time, more powerful. Okay, because I was at the big tool shops, I thought I'd grab another couple of small tools that I've been wanting for a little while as well. These are a couple of tools that I think everyone should have in their toolkit. Modern cars with plastic clips on door panels, etc. Very easy to break. And whilst I was in Total Tools in Darwin, I picked up a Toledo brand plastic clip tool remover. Now, Toledo is an Australian brand, been around for a long time. They now have their tools made in Taiwan. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Taiwanese tools are often much better quality than Japanese, especially when an Australian or American company actually does their quality control and has them built in Taiwan. I guess probably in a similar way that Milwaukee has their tools made in China, because it's much cheaper to make them in China. And yet they still have a good quality control, so they're probably not bad. So back to this Toledo trim removal tool. Now I have got a couple of cheap eBay or Amazon versions which are nowhere near as nicely made, they're nowhere near as solid. Toledo again is a renowned, well-known Australian company with Taiwanese tools, and this was a whole $9, I think, $9.95 from Total Tools. So that's a really handy thing to add to your kit. I guess you could buy a cheap Chinese generic no-name brand from eBay or Amazon or whatever. It might cost you, $4 or $5, but at the end of the day, I find that the better quality tools do actually still do a better job. Something else that you need in your toolkit even when you're starting out, and no, it's not just for old fellas who have to wear glasses because we're old. Anyone doing work at some stage will need a magnifying glass. I picked up this little 3-piece kit, one nice big unit, I guess it's about 4 inches diameter, one about 2 inches diameter, and then a little pocket one. Again, I picked this up at Total Tools. This was a whole $12 for the 3, made in China of course, to Workforce Australia and New Zealand standards. So, but really handy thing to have in your toolkit. Even when you're starting out, you will find that there will be some really fine work, sometimes fine soldering or things like that. Having a good quality magnifying glass in your kit makes things much easier, even before you start going old and blind like me. Anyway, that's it for this week's FriBaT. Thank you very much for stopping by and having a beer with me on a Friday afternoon. And thank you very much to all you supporters and subscribers who've got me over the 1,000 subscriber mark. That is fantastic. I am really excited about that. On to the next goal, and maybe you can help me achieve that. 100,000 subscribers. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm really happy doing this. I'm really happy with the feedback that I'm getting. Please, it's really important to leave a comment, hit the like button, share the videos around with family and friends. That helps the channel to grow. It tells the YouTube algorithm to promote my videos, which is a really good thing, and that also helps the channel to grow. Anyway, I hope things are really good with you, and I look forward to seeing you maybe next Friday. See ya.